I have a surprise for you.
For me?
Yeah.
What is it?
Well, I just, when you ask for things, I want to deliver. So I'm going to share my screen, okay?
Okay.
Okay?
Oh, wait.
And we're on our website right now.
Oh, hold on, my thing's down. Shop now. Whether it's for a Oh, okay. Oh! Difficulty shirt! Oh my god, I need to buy it. Oh my god, it looks great. Oh my god, I love it.
Right now, listeners, on our website, I made the shirt that Katie wanted. Mrs. D, Mrs. I, Mrs. FFI, Mrs. C, Mrs. U, Mrs. LTY. You flip the shirt around and...
Why are all these
married?
This is the shirt I need to get and I need to wear to any future failed speed dating attempts. Okay.
And it is going to be sent to your house immediately.
Oh my god. Like the one, we don't need Wi-Fi in space tank top. I wear that a lot in the summertime. Ooh. That's from this is a fun connection. I'll say this now before we dive into things. I listened to our Independence Day episode because we said Independence Day. So I was like, yeah, let's revisit this fun fact. Bridge, can you believe we reference Now and Then in our Independence Day episode? What? Okay, we reference it because in Independence Day, there's a part when the aliens first come and the government is like, yeah, let's do a bunch of flashing lights to communicate with the aliens. And we're like, what is this bunch of flashlight communication bullshit? Like we're at a sleepover. And then we were like, oh my god, just like in Now and Then.
Oh my god, I love that.
It's amazing. Oh my god.
All right, it's ordered.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I can't wait.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Oh, it looks so good. Thank you.
I love it though. It's so fun.
Can you put it on a little baby onesie for Kate and she wears it at daycare? Like, so.
I'll be like, yo, Kate, you got to put on the difficulty shirt. Wrapping up.
She's like, damn it. Mrs. Difficulty. I guess that's a little, yeah, never mind. That's the wrong message.
Sisters who've seen it. We are the sisters who've seen it. Sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, sisters who've seen it.
Hello.
Hello there.
Welcome back, listeners.
How we doing? What's new? Now and then.
Now and then. I was going to be like, how's it going now and then? Okay, listeners, I'm going to introduce ourselves because we are the adult versions of ourselves.
Oh, we're then.
We're not, we're the then.
But we're now? We're now. Not then. We're now.
Oh, we're now. All right, because then is past. Oh, God. Okay. This is not a math. Not math. Oh, God. It's not a reading lesson. Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm going to introduce ourselves. Welcome. Listeners, we are the Sisters Who've Seen It, the podcast where two sisters who are not movie critics look back on some of our favorites throughout the years through a psychological, ethical, and familial lens. I'm Katie.
I'm Bridget.
And...
yeah, well, you deserve it, fart ass.
Fart ass! Damn it. That was a rough one. It was a rough insult they whipped out. I was going to try to think of one of the songs. We were just talking about that. There's so many good songs in this movie.
Oh, yeah. Been around way too long.
Did you have this movie soundtrack?
Ooh, baby.
On CD? Because I feel like you had a lot of those.
I must have, because every song, knock 3
times on the ceiling if you want me.
Oh,
twice on the pipe. If the answer is no. It really, part of this movie was kind of like a music video, I'm not gonna lie.
1995. Now and Then.
Now and Then. Classic.
Wow.
This is a great
starring,
one.
And I thought this was somewhat rude in my Amazon description.
Oh.
They describe it by saying Demi Moore, Rosie O'Donnell, and Melanie Griffith star. I'm like,
where's Rita Wilson, you sickos?
Excuse me, Rita Wilson.
Rita Wilson from Jingle All the Way. Okay. Jesus.
And epic youngsters. Christina Ricci.
Yeah.
Gaby Hoffmann.
Yeah.
Thora Birch. And then did you know Crissy is played by Ashleigh Aston Moore, who died?
Oh my god, that's so sad.
At like 26 from a heroin overdose.
Oh, that's terrible. Oh.
Didn't see that one coming. It's your summary.
No, I did Harry Met Sally. Bridget, I went a 20-year span of that movie. You could do a 20-year span of Now and Then, okay?
No!
Yes, you can.
Okay. So Demi Moore, Rosie O'Donnell, Melanie Griffith, and Rita Wilson star in this nostalgic story of growing up in America, specifically Shelby, Indiana.
That's it? It's just growing up? All right.
That's all it says.
I mean, I
it's
guess
boring.
it is, kind of.
It is a coming-of-age story,
Yes.
and when it came out in 1995, believe it or not, there was not a lot of movies with all women, 4 women, 2 women. Yikes.
Yeah.
Apparently, critics gave it the poo-poo. Roger Ebert was like, lame. And it wasn't even streaming until like a couple years ago.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
Like this was one of those like lost in DVD world and has gotten more demand later in life. But the story goes that the 4 best friends made a pact to always be there for each other.
The friendship pact that everybody upholds forever. Yeah.
I question this pact, but okay.
Mm-hmm.
And they come together because one of their friends, Crissy, is having a baby. When they come together, they start to reminisce about one of the greatest summers they had back in the 70s, 1970, that they did all these shenanigans, and the movie starts at the beginning of summer, and it all goes to the end of summer, and they go through a lot of stuff. There are divorces. There are moms dying and dealing with death. There are, body image stuff.
Lots.
Didn't go well. That didn't really...
Nope.
That didn't go well.
Nope.
There is puberty. There is, boys and what to do with them. There's bullying.
Specifically Devon Sawa boys, so...
Yes, there's cliques. There's smoking. There's filling your boobs up. There's all sorts of things.
Yeah.
And there's crazy seance and
I was gonna say, and there's a subplot of a dead boy and ghost.
And the whole point is about they do this seance and they believe they brought this young boy back from the dead and they wanted to learn everything about it. And so they go on this whole mission trying to figure out everything they can know about it. But honestly, I think there's a lot more to it, So that's my summary. What do you think?
That's great. And then, it's like when the adult women all come together, they're all very different and in different places in their life. But then they kind of are like, you know what? We remember why we're friends. And friendship is magic. And then Rita Wilson has a baby. So, wow.
I cannot tell you how many, kind of hater reviews I read about this. I was like, wow. And some of it I understood, but a lot of it I thought,
I mean, it really is kind of a female lens, but almost like a Stand By Me-esque story where it's like 4 young friends and they're going on a weird journey that involves a dead kid and they learn life lessons and you're like, wow.
The problem that I had with that comparison was the male story had to be first, or it has to be framed with the male story, and I'm like, I get it came before it and it was more popular, and Keith or Sutherland was way scarier.
It was
and
really
I think
scary
I think they needed a scary person in this one, but it's just interesting how it was it's like a lady movie.
Ugh.
Yeah. But this, like all great movies, starts with a banger song and Red Rover, send Bobby Finkelstein over.
All right.
Or Bobby Fricker.
I don't know who the fuck got sent over, but I don't know if I'm the only person who feels this way. I fucking hate Red Rover. I literally have trauma. It hurts your arm. It's stressful. At one point you have to run by yourself in front of mass amounts of people.
In front of everyone.
And if you're not running fast enough, you're not going to break through and then everyone hates you. It's not fun. It's not a fun game. Okay? I'll just put it out there. And the fact that these kids, it starts with them being literally losing against 40 children, but we got little Bobby. And now we're happy. And I was like, guys, the game's not over. Okay.
I hated the ending that it was all 4 grown-ups that do a Red Rover with random kids.
I was like, this seems a little stacked, guys. And Rita just had a baby, but fine. It's all fucking fine.
So many questions.
Wow.
But yeah, you get the plot. Chrissy's having a baby, and Demi Moore is super emo, who, is supposed to be Samantha, and she smokes a lot.
So
and
emo.
I can't go home, but this author who said you can't go home, he wasn't a chick. chick that made a pact with his buddies in Indiana. I was like, oh my God.
And then meanwhile, Rosie O'Donnell's like, hey, teenage boys, I can't play basketball because I gotta hang with my buds, deuces. And I was like, Rosie, what's going on?
Can I tell you what I want this movie to be?
Yes.
I wanted Rosie to come out as a lesbian.
That's how it should have gone.
And I wanted Crissy to also come out as a lesbian and them to be a couple.
Oh my God!
Because they stay in a hometown and they would have the best life ever. They were so adorable together.
Wait, and then in the flashback, Crissy does actually give mouth to mouth, and that's like an awakening for both of them to realize like their love. Oh my God, I can see it now. Ugh, we'll have to do the remake.
We'll get there.
Wow.
So many studios owe us money. We gotta do stuff. We gotta quit our jobs and do this. And so you really start to like see, I don't know, they're like, it was the summer and everything's great. And like, you know, now we're meeting like where they went. And oh my God, Teeny, who's Tina, ended up being a superstar.
She shows up in a limo.
I thought that was a little much.
Why did we, girl, we don't need a limo to impress our friends. Come on now. There's no paparazzi here. Except, although Rita Wilson was being a mamarazzi. I did write a note about that.
I laughed
she's
so
taking
hard.
so many photos. Oh God.
Yep. And I just thought, oh my God, this reminds me, you know, it has like this Sex in the City thing where like every character is really, really
so
different.
Right.
And so you can relate to everyone. And it's like, can we just admit that if these 4 girls grew up in Shelby, Indiana, they're probably all the same.
Yep.
I hate to be that generic. And they could have slight differences, but like they're probably similar. Right?
Yeah.
And so it's like funny that like they ended up in like all these completely different places. You're like, okay.
Yeah, so it flashes back like pretty quickly, and we first kind of meet Sam, who is Demi Moore, and Sam is played by Gaby Hoffmann. And we very quickly come to find that like, oh, her parents like fight all the time and everything's wrong, and LOL, sisters sleep together because we're sad, and wow.
Her sister's Rumor Wilson.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Willis, which is Demi Moore's daughter.
Wow.
And she was in the iconic movie The House Bunny. You're welcome, everyone. And so was Rita Wilson's son, whatever his name is, Hanks. Not Chet, the other one. Anyway, that's a weird connection. I'm so sorry. So we get like character introductions, like who the kids are, and Sam is like Sam is me. All right, it's me.
I told you this.
It's
you
me.
were like I'm Roberta. I'm like
I mean, I do think I have like a little but like
no, you have Roberta in the like you'd stick up for the right thing, and sometimes I think Samantha's a little more of a follower.
And I'd be like, screw you boys, but then I'd also make out with one over there. So that, you know, that's but that too.
I just loved how like her whole arc was very much like I'm into weird things and I'm attracted to weird stuff, and I thought it was like a little lame that when she grows up she has to be like unhappy. I'm like, okay, like whatever, because I'm like, I don't think liking weird stuff and getting divorces means you have to be unhappy, but whatever.
But then she learns her lesson, Bridge, from our emotional flashbacks.
Wow.
Okay, so Roberta's taping her boobs.
Did you ever do this?
Oh my God, no. That sounds that like you gotta take that off at some point and like, ow, I don't want to do that.
I don't think I tape my boobs, but I do remember like wanting to hide your body.
Oh.
Like the body I have, I swear to God, I hit 12 and hips, boobs, it's the same.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, it's this weird time where like half of your friends are like little stick trees, and then the other half are like voluptuous, and it's very awkward.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really, really good to show, like, she was annoyed by it.
Yeah.
Because unless everyone's on the same page, it feels weird to be like the first one.
Yeah. Well, and they also set her up to be like, her mom died. She's no female role model in her life, I guess, even though she like could, but we're not gonna give that to her. Anyway, she has all brothers and only a dad, and that's it. And you're like, wow, okay. Cool.
Yeah. And we never acknowledge the brothers. We like step over them in the hallway. They don't exist the whole summer.
Yeah, they're gone. I don't know what they do. Then we meet Teeny. Okay. Is she called teeny because of the boob thing? Because I'm sweating. Why is that?
I don't know.
I just don't. I don't know. I like never thought of it before, and then this watch, I was like, wait, what is your nickname? Okay,
because she wasn't like shorter than all of them.
No,
or, like, actual like littler, right?
Teeny.
I love that. I wrote because it was like Teeny's an only child, and she daydreams all along, and her parents are never around or something, and not that parents are never around, but I thought, is this baby Kate? Because like she's very just like, I want to be this movie star, and like playing by herself because there's like
Kate
no kids
ever
around.
takes her pudding and puts it in a balloon, that's when you'll know that she's Teeny. Okay. Teeny's very like girly and is like, ooh, boys, yeah, like, haha, I love it, yeah, go team. And you're like, wow, okay, Teeny. And then we meet Crissy. Crissy is brushing her hair, and she's counting how many times she brushed her hair on each side. And I had a friend growing up who did this, and I remember being like, wait, like, why are you counting? And they were like, it matters. It's got to be the same number. And I was like, oh, should I do that? OCD. I'm not gonna do that because I'm lazy. Oh god.
What, for someone who has clearly well-kept hair, I thought it was a shocking choice to always have pigtails.
Yeah.
I thought, we can't change this up. It always has to be pigtails.
I don't know. I mean, she did a lot of brushing, so maybe she was just tired by the end.
Can we talk about how, and now I'm really sad that this real person is dead, but like the fat shaming was out of control.
It was really bad.
Not even fat.
Nope.
Literally, the 90s were so fat-shamey, fat-phobic, out of control. And I just wrote like, oh, this is so infuriating. But oh my god, Bonnie Hunt's her mom.
Yes, thank God for Bonnie Hunt. She's in one scene, and it's amazing. And she's
incredible.
She just comes in, she's like, so I want to talk with you about what you asked me. And Crissy goes, about sex? And then she's like, oh, sorry, it's just when you say that to mommy, I just get like, Bridge, I don't know. I mean, one day you're going to have this conversation with your child, and I sincerely hope you do not compare a vagina to a garden, okay? Because I don't think that's the best. Like, if anything, that's the uterus. You know, like, what are we doing?
When she walks in, she's like, oh, honey, we should close this. Records get dusty. And then she goes closer and she goes, oh, canopy. It's like flipped up. She goes, canopy up, canopy down. That's what I always say. I told you the story when Mom talked to me about sex, right?
I just remember you being like, I was scarred for life. And then I was like, that's interesting because I never had that conversation with her. So maybe... I
scarred her. So basically, she did it in all the right way in theory. I got my period. She was like, this is what your period is. And now, since in theory you can get pregnant, I should tell you what sex is. So she did our mom style.
Yeah.
Did it all at once. And when she told me...
All with a giant extra large cup of coffee in her hand.
Yes. So it wasn't like I was like, hey, Mom, I want to learn about it. She was like, well, this is what happened to you, so now you need to know about it. So when she told me, and she said, she literally was very, like, direct. She was like, men take their penis and put it in a woman's vagina, and then, like, the men ejaculate, and, like, that's sex. So she told me exactly what it was.
She said ejaculate? Wow. I guess that's the proper term, so...
I don't know. I think she probably, I don't know specifics, but she definitely said penis and vagina. And Katie, do you remember those blue rolly chairs we had that would roll on the ground?
In the basement, yeah.
I was on one of those, and all I kept thinking about was how, oh my god, so Dad stuck his penis and your vagina, and I started crying hysterically. And then she started crying because she was so embarrassed by it.
Oh,
and that's why both you and Mary never had the sex talk, because Mom scarred me and then I scarred her because I said, wait, so that's what you and Dad did? And she was like, yeah. I was like, and I started hysterically crying.
Okay, wow. Well, let's hope by that point Miss Rachael has come out with like the sex conversation video that you can just YouTube, because oh dear,
oh my god,
good.
But I laughed so hard with this scene because like she wanted to know, you know, and like it's just so it sums up so much of her innocence that she's not stupid, she just like is not exposed to anything, and it made the character like Chef's kiss.
Bonnie Hunt goes, every flower needs a big hose to water. Or a small hose, whatever gets the job done. And I was like, oh my God, amazing. It's extra funny, too, because I don't think, like, conversations like this they probably are done with men when they're boys, but I don't think it's the same.
Yeah.
And so, like, I can't even think of an example of a movie or
good
TV
sex
show
talk?
where there's, like, a teenage boy getting that conversation by a parent.
Yeah.
Because I think it's more traditionally, like, a mom to a daughter or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's cool. And then right from there, we meet Devon Sawa, and we are told...
The Wormers!
Wormers! That's a terrible last name.
He is so cute. Isn't he so... He's, like,
So
such a cutie.
cute,
I remember
know.
having his posters on my wall when I was young, because, like, he was in, like, Teen Bop magazine and stuff.
Oh,
my
is this
God.
pre or post Casper? Is this before Casper?
Casper?
I feel
So
like
this is
Casper was
1995?
96.
Yeah.
I'm just tossing that number out, but I feel like that's right. But Christina Ricci and Devon Sawa, they got chemistry.
No, same year.
Oh my God!
95.
They got to kiss twice. Wow. Yeah. So they're basically like, those boys are stupid, and they threw water balloons of Jell-O, which that's a pretty creative prank. I just gotta say.
That's a lot of effort.
I was gonna say, that must have took a long time. And where were the parents being like, where's all our fucking Jell-O, children? Like, what's happening?
Do you put the Jell-O in the water liquid, and then you gotta wait for it to set?
I feel like yes, right? How
That's
you can't
so
shove
impressive.
Jell-O in a balloon. Like, it has to be made in the balloon.
It's crazy.
Somebody
that's
do a
intricate.
science project and send us the info on how they did this.
Thank you.
Wow. They end up doing I think it is a legit Cosmo sex quiz, which is so funny because everybody in middle school did that.
Everyone. We all did that.
Yeah. And then, of course, because they're all different personalities, they all get different answers. And Teeny gets the one where it's like, damn, Teeny, you're super sexy and hot. All the men want you. And you're like, oh, she's 12. And then Crissy gets, wow, you're like a big prude and you gotta put out more. God. And I was like, Cosmo, what the F? But honestly, even in the 2000s, Cosmo was giving out bad advice. So I
believe we touched on this in 10 Things I Hate About You, because in theory, that whole movie was based off of like a Cosmo-like thing. But when I lived in New York, for whatever reason, I had a friend of a friend that worked at Cosmo.
Oh my God.
And I remember being so excited because I was like, tell me how you guys come up with these articles.
Yeah.
Do you get do you do research to get requests? Like, how does it work? And they were like, literally, the one was like, we make it all up. I'm like, they should be held accountable for how many unrealistic expectations people have with sex.
I mean,
do you remember? It'd be like, if you want to give a guy the ultimate blowjob, what you do is you take a banana, you freeze it, then you go get ice cubes, then you take that, and then you go run around the block 3 times, stand on your head, and then when the guy comes in, have ice cubes in your mouth, then you flip the banana around. You're like, what?
If I could get paid to like be drunk and write some bullshit, like that'd be great. So it's fucked, honestly.
Not to young 12-year-olds that's like molding their view, because let me tell you, the men didn't have an equal version. No. So it would be like, they had, women being Playboy. Yeah, they'd be like, this is a naked body, but they had nothing to do with
yeah, they did not get the Cosmo quizzes. How are they gonna know if they're sexy or not? They'll never know. Jesus.
Wait, and this is when we get the plot. Oh my God, Kate, this fucking treehouse. Okay.
Oh, the tree. That was
$126 treehouse from Sears.
How much money would that be now, you think?
$500, $600, I don't know.
Wow.
But can I tell you,
they were hustling.
Somebody wrote this, and I think it's so funny. The same treehouse from the 70s, 25 years later, when they're older, is at Crissy's house, and it's in pristine
It really
condition.
is. Somebody must have sealed that real good on the wood.
They go up there with a newborn?
Yeah.
Are you nuts?
It's
Are
normal.
You nuts?
It's all good, Bridge.
This whole thing was like, once we get this, we'll have the ultimate sleepover. And they hung out once.
I was going to say, did they even have a sleepover that we saw? I feel like we didn't even see that. Oh,
I don't know, but Crissy was on top of the finances, and I just don't think she got enough credit.
You know what? She really got shit on this whole movie, and you're absolutely right. Did. She was keeping the money tight. But this is where, again, this would be me as Sam. She immediately goes, guys, great news. It's a full moon tonight. We gotta go to the graveyard. We gotta do a seance. And, you know, for whatever reason, everyone's like, sure. Crissy is not on board, by the way, but she gets peer pressured. So, go team, friends.
I love that they also then do a quick cameo with Janine
Garofalo. Oh my god,
who
so good.
is a witch, and they eventually go to her later in the movie to ask about the dead kid.
Yeah!
Oh, and she just takes their money and she's like, hey boys, feeling a little blue today. You're like, what? Is your Then they make fun of Crissy some more and call her she's fat, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so boring.
Yeah.
So they're at the seance. We're like, okay, thank god, we get there.
Yo, Crissy pranks him.
Yeah, I feel like
what do you feel?
It's pretty funny.
Oh.
It was pretty funny.
It was pretty funny. I was like, you know what, Crissy? You gotta stick up for yourself. And just because everyone's pissed and they're rude to you, it's okay.
Crissy gave the performance of a lifetime. I believed it.
That is where she gets called fart ass, though. So, I don't know. Was it worth it? Maybe.
Oh my god. She runs away, though, because then it gets scary.
Wait, this is the most dramatic thunderstorm I've ever seen in my life. It's like normal, and they're like, God, Crissy, you're so fat and a fart ass. And then literally God is so mad, which they should be, and the skies open up, and now it's like a monsoon. We get introduced to Crazy Pete, which now that I'm looking at my notes, I realize my entire notes I spelled Pete wrong. I spelled it like Pete Moss and not the name. That doesn't mean anything to anyone but me, so I'll just
means nothing.
be changing that on my own, but yeah.
Have so many opinions about Crazy Pete.
Okay, is it why doesn't he wear a helmet? 70-year-old man wears bike helmet, sir?
No, and I will tell you the internet has not talked about this yet, and I'm going to talk about it with you right here, right now.
Oh boy, wow, hot topic.
How old do we think Crazy Pete is in 1970? Because I'm going to throw out 80s.
Oh, I
80s?
thought like 70s.
Let's say he's 78.
Okay.
Fair?
Okay.
What 78-year-old is lifting a sewer grate and doing a triple axel into a sewer and lifting up a 12-year-old and then lives for another 25 years?
Wow, that is
which he will be 110 or something. Kate, literally, I was like, Crazy Pete is
crazy.
It's crazy. Like, he
Crazy
is
Pete
at
needs
the gym
to go to the Olympics.
lifting. Like, he is. I was like, no one has acknowledged. And when he jumped in to save her in the sewer, his little gray bald spot of hair.
The gray bald spot. It was floating. I saw it.
Never in my life did I think, when I was younger, how did he physically achieve this? And now I walk down the stairs after waking up in the morning and it hurts, and I'm only in my 30s, and I seriously don't understand how Crazy Pete lifted up a sewer grate. Just saying.
We need that workout plan, Crazy Pete.
Can you imagine?
Share
He's
it.
like, all day you hide.
Yeah.
At night, you just bike the cemetery.
Every day
He's like, it's
is
my
leg
5-step
day
plan.
For 12 hours.
every day is leg day.
At night. Yeah.
Oh my god.
So it's just another, like, oh, he's a crazy old guy and he's so scary. Why is he in this graveyard on a bike by himself? And I was like, that is a good question, but good thing it gets answered. So this is when they believe that they have resurrected.
Oh my
so
god.
they call him Dear Johnny. Why is that?
It was just on the tombstone.
But what's his last name? Why didn't...
I don't know, and I don't
That's
understand
just
how they
a little
found details about him.
Disrespectful. Like, why can't we put his last name, guys?
I also was like, you researched him all summer. Johnny who?
Who's
There's
Johnny?
gonna be a lot of Johnny. By the way, we're in Indiana. You're all white.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna guess there's like 800 Johnnies.
Yeah.
Okay. What?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
Makes no sense.
I don't know, but this is where they do their light system a la Independence Day stole, I should say. They tried to communicate with the aliens. It didn't work. They do their flashlight brouhaha, and they're like, we gotta fucking hang out. There's a dead kid in my room.
Okay.
Now we're gonna spend our summer finding about the dead kid. And everyone's like,
This is
yeah!
This is why you are Samantha, because she was like, guys, Dear Johnny is back, and we brought him here.
This would be me. I'd be like, I have hard facts. And they're like, what are they? And I'm like, I can't tell you because it would ruin the magic. But you just gotta believe.
I go to you saying this, making us all show up to the secret meeting, saying it. And then we get into Pee Wee Herman's basement, and you go through the evidence.
Laid out. Exhibit A, my room. Here's an exact replica of it. Exhibit B, a flashlight.
Oh my god. And then this is when it's like, oh yeah, girl. And we just get distracted by good music.
Yes.
And you're like, yeah, dude.
Because they decide to, they're like, we gotta go to this library that, it was like, I don't know how far away it was. But they just ride their bikes and it's fun.
Yeah, I feel like, again, Chrissy's like, that's pretty far. And they're like, you're fat, Crissy.
They're like, shut up, Crissy. We're gonna get on the bike. We're gonna be tired too, but shut up, gosh.
She's like, we're 12 going on the highway. Like, we don't have phones. It's the 70s. We have to be home by dark.
Yeah, well, I don't know if they made it because they have a conversation. They play Truth or Dare a lot. Nobody ever picks Dare. Just
Nobody
call
picks
it
Dare.
Truth or Truth at this point.
I agree.
You know? And
I agree.
It gets to, like, sex, and this is where they're like, oh, well, Crissy doesn't know about sex. And that's when I was like, can't we just tell her, guys? Like,
I know.
Her mom doesn't tell her the right stuff.
Yeah, and I thought, that's really not her fault.
No.
Like, they don't have the internet. It's the 70s. You
Yeah.
know? Oy.
Yeah, I go, Crissy really gets shit on this whole movie, doesn't she?
Wait, but then Teeny has the pudding in her boobs because
Pudding
Jello's
boobs.
too jiggly, but pudding is the right texture.
How'd she get the pudding in? You can't
Kate.
you have to shove it in there. Guys, somebody help
You know,
us.
I gotta tell you right now, because I have a kid, I now know these things, that it is so cool that you can take this, like, water balloon thing, and you put, like, the littlest amount of water, and it fills up, like, 20 water balloons. Have you seen that?
Oh, yeah,
That gadget thing?
I don't think you can do that with pudding, though.
But can you imagine with pudding?
I
for
mean,
all the women that want boobs that are, like, 11-year-olds?
All those 11-year-olds looking for boobs because Cosmo told them they need them. Oh, boy. Yeah, I don't know.
So
but
weird.
Crissy literally gets shit on. Literally. By a bird.
Literally.
It poops right on her head. It could have pooped on anyone else, but it pooped on her head. And she was rightfully upset. I would be upset if I got bird poop in my hair. Okay? I'd be sad. They go to wash it out. It turns into swim time. Roberta.
Whoa.
Not cool.
What is your diagnosis for this behavior?
I would put her on suicide watch because
it's crazy.
That's danger. She jumps off and pretends to, like, die, and then they all think she died, and this is where she could have had her romantic moment with Crissy, because Chrissy's the only friend that was like, get the fuck out of the way, I'm gonna give her CPR, and then that's when she wakes up, and it's like,
do you know,
wow.
I know this is a serious topic, but also when I was a kid, do you ever watch the way Crissy swims?
No. How'd she swim?
I want you to go back to the scene.
What's the stroke?
And I want you to...
Oh, not the drowning dog paddle. It's not that one.
I would do it in every pool I ever got in when I was about 13 or 14. It was incredible.
That's extra funny because you're like a very well-trained, like competitive swimmer, and I just imagine like a swim coach seeing you and be like, God damn, Bridget, everything we've worked for up until this point is gone. Oh, God.
But
Lord.
It's crazy. And this is where it's like they skirted on the Stand By Me seriousness, and then they're like, knock 3 times on the ceiling. You're like, what? Why can't we get serious?
Every time we have like a super serious, we're like, holy shit just got real. They would all move on in like less than a
3
minute.
seconds.
Yeah. This one, literally Roberta's like, wow, thank you. And then Crissy's like, you're my best friend, Roberta. Like, I don't know what to do without you. And you're like, wow, they're best friends. And then someone else is like, hey, look, Nikki, boys. Wee! I was like, what the fuck? And then we all just move on. Okay, we need to talk about this part because
it's gross. It's gross. They're little boys. I don't want to see little boys.
I felt so icky. And when I was younger, I didn't think of it like that because we were closer to the age, but I don't like it. I'm very curious about like behind the scenes too because that's their real butts. Like they were that's their butts.
They were naked. They were naked.
Like what is like the child's protection on that? I'm nervous.
This is how we feel the justice for the naked toddler in Superman. Full frontal.
Well, they could also be in the lawsuit if they want. If they're like, if Devon Sawa's like, I'm upset about my butt. I was 12. I'd be like, I'd be upset too. Let's do it.
He's pretty active on Twitter.
He is.
Are we off Twitter?
No, we're on Twitter still, unfortunately.
Can you tag him about this and say, if you need a lawsuit, I am not a lawyer.
Hi, I'm not a lawyer, but
I believe you and the Superman toddler, if we could find them, are,
I feel, that Superman toddler, I'm so sorry. I hope your life is great right now. Oh my God.
I felt really icky.
Yeah.
And I felt like, let's talk about reality here. If you're a bunch of, like,
brothers,
wild boys, you're jumping in your clothes.
Why are they brothers naked?
But I'm like, you're gonna maybe take your shirt off. I get it. You don't want to get all your clothes wet, but you're not, like, maybe you do your boxers, right? I just thought it was like, unrealistic, too,
I felt like it was a, like, like, of the times thing, where I was like, maybe back then this is what we did.
Because about, they wanted to embarrass them. So if they're all in their boxers, they're still embarrassed.
You could still take their clothes.
Because they still stole their clothes. Right. So I think this was lame.
It could have been like, they're naked, but we don't need to see like a butt. Like, I'll believe you.
I believe it.
If I don't see anything from the waist down, I will believe you. But we saw things, and I literally
I wrote in here, I go, okay, I hear Katie's voice. Why are we seeing naked young boys?
Yeah, that was me. I must have been telepathically speaking to you as you watched it, because I wrote, this is a lot, it's too much. And then
oh my god. And then I also remember Teeny doing a great line where she goes, nice undies, and chucks them in the air. And they all are like, one for all for one. Yeah, we got the wormers. Then we go back to serious, where we learn about Roberta's mom dying in a horrible car accident.
Yeah, they're like, we're done with naked boys, but Roberta, your mom died. Also, it was so horrific and tragic. Wow, we're all sad. Everyone's like, oh, Jesus Christ. And then we move on to Brendan Fraser. Woo!
Brendan Fraser is so hot.
Dude.
In this scene. And then I take a step back and I think, this is really creepy that you're sitting with 12-year-old girls, smoking with them, talking about like the war. I didn't like it.
The only thing that I did
he wasn't sexual. He wasn't intending. But I still think he could have been like, hey girls, just I want to be by myself.
Yeah.
He like sat down with them. I just felt like it was a little too quick.
Yeah.
Creepy.
Well, again, voice of reason in that is Crissy, where she's like, we gotta fucking go. She's like, we gotta bike 20,000 miles because we went to read a book for 1 minute, and now we gotta bike all the way back.
She's like, I have bird shit in my hair. Do you know how many strokes I have to
We're literally doing the Tour de France in Indiana, and we are behind on schedule. We gotta go. I did like, though, how Brendan Fraser was at least like, because the whole point is, he was like, the war is horrible, and they're like, I thought the war was great. He's like, the war sucks. And the whole point was him being like, can't believe everything that people tell you. That was the whole message. And then that's when Sam was like, yeah, like my parents were divorcing. You're like, whoa, Sam, damn.
Literally, she's like, no shit.
Yeah.
And like smoking her cigarette. I was like, oh my god.
Ciggies, gross.
What does he say? He goes, you can only believe in yourself. And then I wrote, as you give cigarettes to preteens?
You can only believe in cigarettes because it's the 70s. Freaking Crissy also goes, you're a hippie, aren't you? And I was like, is that our brother Jimmy who wrote a line? Did he write a guest line for this movie? Because I think he calls me a hippie every time I see him.
He calls me a hippie every time. If I pick up a paintbrush, I'm a hippie. If I wear the color blue, I'm a hippie. I don't understand.
Yep. So that was great. Thank God for you, Brendan Fraser. And then when we get back,
we've got to. So that was serious.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like, softball game at Kettle Field now.
Oh, wait, is this softball game time? Because this is my mom is embarrassing, and Cloris Leachman, whose grandma is trying to knock down the door because we're divorced, and my mom makes me hide from grandma, and I was like, why is this happening? This is so weird.
Yo,
holy
that
shit.
is, first of all, let's talk about this time frame. This is the summer.
Yeah.
One summer. 3 months.
Yep.
In 3 months, the dad moves out.
He fucking
We
left.
get a new boyfriend right away.
I hated that.
That meets the kids
hated
right away.
that so much.
That's quick.
That's
pretty quick.
I didn't like it. And that was a weird scene. And then they're like, we gotta go to a psychic. And again, I was like, yes, we do. You're absolutely right. And Chrissy's like, no, we don't. We gotta save money. And they're like, shut up, Crissy. Give her $10, which is probably like $1,000 in normal time.
Honestly, for anyone who's gonna grow up and be a doctor, it probably should have been Crissy, because she was the one that was like anti-non-science.
Very analytical.
Yeah, she was very analytical.
Yes.
She should have been like an accountant or something.
Seriously. And all they learned was that the kid was murdered. And then Crissy is like, we already knew that. And they're like, shut up, Crissy. Oh my God. Now we're at the softball game. Bridge, they have a softball game next to the cows. Just want to point that out. Just saying. I would be hanging out with the cows, personally.
Okay, I'm going to tell you this right now. There are parts of this movie that do chef's kiss.
Yeah.
And I remember so much as a kid, because you know me, loved playing sports.
Yeah.
And most of the guys run the show. And you have to step up. And so she's at bat, and they're like, okay. And Devon Sawa turns around, and he signals people to move in. How many men did this to you? How many guys did this to you?
I don't remember.
Okay, this happened to me a lot.
Oh.
And I remember just wanting to, like, take my bat and chuck it in their faces.
I wish you did.
Well, but I laughed because I was like, oh, she's gonna nail it, because I forgot this part. And then that freaking dude goes off about how girls can't play softball.
Heckler.
A league of their own would rip Dottie, would put him in a headlock.
Would have tossed the bat at him. Throw him the cows.
But she really, and he was like, go home and play with your dolls. And man, she escalates it. Roberta's got a lot going on. Roberta should have ended up in jail later in life. Okay? Like, we knew where that was going.
Roberta had to join in with the reunion from her one phone call a day. Yeah. Bridget, there was a comment that Crissy makes that I was like, uh-oh, is this Bridget? Where Crissy goes, come on, Roberta, touchdown. I was like, oh, that's Bridget, but it's okay. Oh, it's great. Sports. And then he makes a dead mom comment, and that I'm like, that's fucked up. And then he gets more beat up, which I was like, yeah.
I thought that was a really cute scene where Sam holds Roberta back, and then she goes in for it. I'm like, yeah. And she was so proud when she got home about like fighting for the right thing, and then she had to meet her stupid mom's new boyfriend.
The emotional whiplash where you're like, oh my god, dead mom, fuck you, and then you're like, yeah, punch his ass, and then you get home and you're like, oh my god, new boyfriend. What the fuck is happening to my neck? It's Hank Azaria.
Wow.
It was weird.
Wow. His name is Bud, not Bug. Bud.
It should have been Bug. I'm just saying. And this was their first date. He literally makes a comment like, first date jitters. I was like, first date, girl! Why are you here? Who invited you to this home? Are you a vampire?
Are you meeting children on my first date?
Ew,
No. It's a lot.
I would be so upset.
And literally, rumor Willis has one line. She's like, I like your red scarf, Bud. I was like, wow.
Yeah. Wow. It was not good.
It was not good, and I understand why, like, Samantha, I thought, like, her acting was incredible, and I thought to myself, I go, what has she done as she got older? And I was like, oh my god, she was in Girls.
She was?
Do you remember her? Yeah, do you remember she was the brother of Adam Driver, or the sister of Adam Driver?
Oh my god, I'm trying to rack my brain.
She was the crazy one that then had a baby with the neighbor.
Oh, Jesus. I don't remember any of that.
She's incredible. Like, first of all, the acting from the youngsters.
Yes.
This is something I did read that I agreed with. They didn't need Demi Moore. They didn't need Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah.
They didn't need Melanie Griffith or Rita Wilson. These young actors crushed it.
Right.
It was kind of like they were the stars, but like these big names show up for 2 minutes. I just thought it was like weak.
Gaby Hoffmann was also the kid in Field of Dreams.
Oh, yeah.
She's like the main daughter of Kevin Costner, whatever.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what, Bridge? Then Sam is like, Teenie, let's go hang out and have emotional bonding. And my parents are divorcing. And the Teenie's like, fuck everyone. And I was like, damn. And then, is this where they... Oh, no, they didn't even do this yet.
Well, so they set up where, like, so you have little cliques, right? Roberta and Crissy have, like, a little more of a clique, and then Samantha and Teenie have a clique, and so Samantha's telling Teenie, like, yeah, you know, bad shit's happened to my parents, and Teenie's like, my parents don't know who I am, whatever. And then you go back to Roberta, where Devon Sawa...
This is what I got.
Rolls up to her playing basketball outside, which, by the way, I definitely remember doing that as a kid, and no Devon Sawa
I was gonna say,
up to my driveway.
I mean, we lived...
I would dream of that
next to a graveyard, so no, nobody ever kind of walked up, thank God, I guess. But yeah, I used to play basketball at night. Damn.
No, nobody would show up, and literally I thought this was also a pretty brilliant puberty scene where that time frame, do you remember to be like, so can I, like, out of nowhere kiss you? I know we, like, are evil arch enemies, but, like, now I think you're cute, so can I kiss you?
But I did love how he asked for consent. I was like, A+, Devon, A+. We're gonna force you to show your butt, but you're gonna ask for consent.
But. And I did like that Christina Ricci was like, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, she's like,
if you tell anyone, I will punch you. I was like, this is perfect. This is, like... This is real. This is what happened.
I know. At that age. They did not end up getting married later in life, or in the movie life.
I thought it's because Roberta should have figured out Roberta likes women.
Secret love, yeah. So this is where now we have Sam and Teenie. Again, these fucking rainstorms need to chill out. I don't know what's going on with the weather. Something's happening in the ozone.
Is out of control.
Climate change is real. Please recycle. Okay, so they are biking home. She has a friendship bracelet, and this was so dumb. The bracelet breaks off. Like, literally breaks off, and she's like, it's in the storm drain. I gotta get it. I'll just go in there. And Teenie's like, cool. Good luck. I was like, it's not cool. cool, guys. Oh, no.
What person? Do you know anyone that would go into a storm drain?
Georgie from It, and he got murdered. So I just think we need to learn lessons, you guys.
Oh my god,
respect.
that is in our scary movie. It's the girls go down to get the bracelet, and the clown is down there. And he's like,
fucking eats them.
He's like, here you go. Here's your bracelet.
Here's your bracelet, kid. I'm Tim Curry. Oh,
and
my
also,
God.
here's a paper boat.
I fucking wish Tim Curry was down there, because he probably would have been like, Gracie Pete, what's your workout? Because I gotta know. The storm drain's crazy heavy. How'd you lift it? But Crazy Pete does come. He saves the day, and no one knows how or why. And I think, honestly, this was another moment where I was like, oh my God, stakes are high drama. And then he rescues her, and I'm like, yeah. And then I get immediately sad again, because he looks at them and he goes, why are you afraid of me?
Oh,
and I was like,
my God.
Oh, Crazy Pete. You're kind of crazy. Okay, I'm just saying.
And they were like, you only come out at night. You're scary. I was like, that's fair.
Yeah. And then he's like, I don't like people. And they're like, well, all right, see you then. Thanks,
Wow.
I suppose.
They're like, bye. Thanks for saving my life.
Now we're going to bike away. Yippee.
Now we jump to the grandma's house, who's so weird because she has a gambling problem, and then they have to break into her house for Roberta to have a breakdown.
Does she have a hairpiece? What was that? I was like, is that a clip-on wig? And also, how does that work? It was a lot.
They did Cloris dirty. I just don't know what was happening. I just know that the grandma kicks them out. Then they, like, break into the second floor.
They fucking do.
Which, if they're trying to be conspicuous, Roberta then shatters a mirror up there.
Yeah.
So, don't know what's happening, but it's not good.
Yeah, it's another sad Roberta moment. She has a sad monologue about how she's sad.
But the acting, like Christina Ricci,
it's so
incredible.
Good. Amazing.
It's so good.
I did write that this felt a little crossroadsy, where it's like, all right, everyone, who else is trauma?
Trauma
Sam?
dump. Yeah.
Sam, you got a divorce. Come on, bring it up
Yep.
right now, right here, right now.
Yep.
Crissy doesn't have any trauma, I guess, even though she should be like, hey guys, I'm actually really traumatized that everyone makes fat jokes about me.
Yeah, you guys are bullying me.
Could we stop? Could we be nice? Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
And I don't know what teenies is, but yeah.
She gets ignored by her parents.
Okay.
They don't know she exists.
Sure.
So, yeah. She wants everyone to know who she is as a movie star later.
Okay. Well, you know what?
Weak.
This is where they make their pact. And as we all know, when you're 12 and you make a pact, like, you have to do it.
I can't.
It's binding. It's legally binding. You'll get sued. You have to.
You get a call from someone 25 years later. They're like, Katie, I'm having a baby. You gotta make it all the way to Indiana. You'd be like, who is this?
I would not answer the call, number one. I'd feel like, I'm not answering. Who are you? Block your number. I also thought it was funny, too, because I was like, is this really the first time these adults are all seeing each other? Because, like, Crissy got married. Was that wasn't a time we needed to honor the pact? Like, who chooses when the pact gets honored or not? I'd like to know.
And you're telling me Teeny is in, like, movies that we haven't been to, premieres? Roberta finishing medical school? We're not celebrating that? What's happening, guys?
I don't fucking know, but we finally have our last seance, and this is where they discover that the gravestone that was, like, broken, it was some guy who just ran it over the tractor. I don't know why he had a tractor in the graveyard. But it's weird, and this is where we learn that Crazy Pete was Dear Johnny's dad. Crazy Pete. So I guess we need to ask you, why do you hate your son and you didn't want to put his last name? Just let me know.
I think it's weird.
Yeah. Oh, there is also, like, an underlying theme where they're kind of like, our town is so small and boring. Everything's stupid. And then they discover that this child was, like, the kid and the mom were,
murdered.
Like,
and
murdered.
Wife. Yeah.
And then they're like, wow, nothing is safe and sacred and everything about our life is a lie. And I'm like, I mean, you're 12.
Well, and I'm like, here's the moment that the middle class, white, privileged kids are like, can you believe the world is scary?
Yeah.
You're like, yeah. So we know that, like, you don't have summer jobs and, like, life is fine because you get to save up dough to buy a treehouse.
Yeah.
Other people in the world actually have hard things going on in their lives, but you know what? We just needed some movie to speak to women, so we got to take what we had to get. You know? We had to take it.
We did, and I do cry at the end with the Crazy Pete conversation because he's like, I learned that you can't shut out the world because of sad things. things. Anyway, Sam, you should learn this lesson. And she's like, fuck you. I won't till I'm 38, but thanks anyway. I'm gonna grow up to be Demi Moore, though. Don't worry.
I've spent a lot of years afraid to face people, but mostly afraid to face myself.
Afraid to face myself because I didn't put my last name on my son's tombstone. I couldn't face it. It was 10 cents a letter. Oh my god. We pretty much, they get the treehouse and you're like, wow, best friends, whatever. And then we like immediately just go to the adults for the rest of the movie because they decide that it makes sense for Crissy, who is Rita Wilson, to now have a fucking baby. And Bridge.
I'm going to tell you something. Okay? I got a lot of opinions about this. Number one.
O'Donnell.
Rosie O'Donnell is delivering her and is not at the hospital being ready to go.
She also drove the limo. I was like, why do we need to drive the limo, Rosie? There's a man for that. Oh,
my God. So James came while I was watching it and he flipped out about that. He goes, why is Rosie driving the limo? There's a driver. Why does Rosie? And he keeps going on and on about it. I was like, calm down.
She does say a great line where she goes, Crissy, it's your uncle. Oh, no, it isn't. I was like, oh, Rosie. That must have been ad-lib.
So literally, she's like, the baby's coming. Oh my God. And then Demi Moore is hilarious in this.
She's freaking out.
And the logistics of driving to the hospital in the limo, and then Rosie's like, hey, just wash my hands real quick, put on my little hat, and call it a day.
Prop your legs up, girl. Let's do it.
And my favorite moment is the husband comes in, and she had already delivered the baby, and he goes, am I too late? And literally, I think Melanie Griffin's like, no, look. I'm like, yes, you are. Yes, you are.
You
needed to be there. You needed to be there hours
Rosie
ago.
floored that limo, okay? We didn't have time.
You missed the hard part. You're late. I'm going to kill you.
Bridget, when your baby was delivered, was there only one person doing anything? Because that was the part where I was like, Rosie, where's the backup?
Where's the nurses? Are there any tools being used?
And then I was like, good thing we caught that baby because, like, there was a fly out. Like, I just don't know about it.
Can I tell you?
My God.
This trope needs to die. We do not need to watch women give birth in scenes anymore. You know what you could do? You know what? Men, close your ears. I'm going to get real with you. You know what's one scene you could show? After the baby's born, where two nurses have to wiggle you to a bathroom where you're just ripped to shreds, and then they tell you to pee. That's the only scene I will allow, because two nurses in your naked body, bloody and horrific, try to hold you over a toilet while you pee. That's the only nuanced version. Other than that, we don't need to see any more scenes in movies about this.
It would have just been Rosie doing that in this movie. Like, all right, this is my job now too. By the way, I own the hospital. By the way, I'm the mayor. So.
I'm the toilet. Come on in. Like, what? They were lovers. I'm sorry. This is a missed opportunity.
You know, a little. It's a baby girl, and then yes, they bring the newborn baby in a treehouse. Crissy healed in one day. I don't know the science about it. And they play truth or dare, but as a reminder, it's never truth or dare. It's really just truth or truth.
It's truth and truth.
And this is where Demi Moore's like, I'm sad. And they're like, Demi, oh no. And she's like, you know what, guys? This 1 hour day, or however long I've been here, reminded me of Crazy Pete and how he told me to live my life better. And I'm gonna do that now, I decided. And you're like, what? All right. Cool. You could have done it sooner. But
I swear to God.
Great.
I felt like this whole scene was like so melodramatic.
Yeah.
Like she was like, every relationship just fails. Nothing works out in my life. My books are terrible. Everything is awful.
I ruined all my relationships. It's like, who are you dating? Okay.
I'm like, you were into a lot of cool science stuff. You're telling me we're not talking about aliens. We're not talking about seances. Come on.
Come on. Keep witchcraft in your life. That's the lesson we need to keep.
And this is how I knew Crazy Pete was like 120 years old, because Melanie Griffith's like, I sent Pete a Christmas card every year, and last year it came back. He died.
Yeah, Rosie O'Donnell's like, I'm actually the coroner, and I can assure you, he's fucking dead, and we didn't put his last name on the tombstone.
It's Dear Pete. It's Dear Pete.
I sincerely hope it was.
And then she says the line, she goes, I've been so afraid of the bad, I missed out on the good.
Sure. You are an award-winning author, but...
Crissy?
Sure.
Yeah, exactly. Crissy comes in and she's like, so let's do another pact.
Yeah, she's like, one more for my next baby, because I don't want only Rosie delivering it. I need more help, guys.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
And that freaking newborn is in the treehouse, like, what, an hour after giving birth? I am horrified. And then they play Red Rover. I was like, this is too much.
It's a lot.
I can't with stranger
Where
kids.
was the baby? Who had the baby? Was the baby in the treehouse? Who had the baby? That's why.
I don't know.
Did the baby play Red Rover? Because I gotta go.
Insane.
Okay, but despite all that, it's a great fucking movie.
It's a great movie. No, you know what
one.
it is? It's a necessary step to things like Pen 15.
Yeah.
To things that are, like, incredible now.
Right.
To, like, where Girls went. I know some people hate on Girls, but I think Girls was fantastic. Like, all of those movies that, like, slowly clawed their way. They're still pretty lacking diversity and stories, but I do think that not bad. Kate, so watch it or don't watch it is everyone should watch this, right?
Everyone should watch it. Have a seance before you do.
Wow.
Resurrect a dead kid with no last name.
Wow.
And then fall in a sewer.
Love
It's
it.
the only way.
Wow.
Yeah. What about you, Bridge? Would you watch it? Or
I would definitely watch it. This is true nostalgia.
Yeah.
If you watch this when you were in your, like, preteen to teen, you'll love it.
Yeah.
It'll just come right back to you. You'll crack up. It's that time, Kate.
Woo!
We have a listener pick.
Oh, okay.
This listener picked a movie that, well, normally I wouldn't pick because
Okay.
I think it's a little scary. Just a little.
A little scary?
But we're still in 1990.
Oh.
It's a little scary.
Is that the year? 1990?
1990.
Wow.
It is deemed as horror sci-fi.
Bridge, I'm impressed with you.
I'm trying my best. The listener pick is Tony.
Tony!
So that's a good Jersey guy right there, Tony.
Yo, what you gonna do?
Hey, yo, Tony.
Prosciutto.
Tony says, hi, I like your podcast. Can you do this movie?
Tony.
He gets to the point.
Okay.
All right. Well, the movie is an American monster comedy horror film.
American? Okay. I hate when they say that.
Wow, it's starring somebody that we did definitely a movie with.
Okay.
Starts with a T. It's one word.
Okay. Is it? I don't know.
It's Tremors.
Oh! I love Tremors.
It looks scary.
Wait,
I don't
not.
remember it.
No, I feel like it's more funny than scary.
Is it funny? Okay.
Oh my god, I think, oh my god, why can't I think of her name? A single mom who works for 2 jobs. What's her name? With the red hair. Oh my god, I'm so ashamed. Single mom
Reba
works
McEntire.
Reba's in this movie, I'm pretty sure.
Wow,
and
she
she's
really
a single
is.
mom who works 2 jobs, who loves her kids and never stops. She's not. But I'm pretty sure she's in this movie. Oh my god.
I know Kevin Bacon
and
is.
Kevin
6
Bacon.
Degrees. Wow.
Yes. Wow, we
Wow.
did. Was Footloose our only Kevin Bacon movie?
I think so.
Wow.
We've done a lot. It's going to be hard for me to remember.
I think it is.
So someone else can
No,
correct
we did
me.
Friday the 13th also.
See?
So
There we
two.
go. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh my god. All right.
Wow.
Woo. It's going to be
Tony?
dusty.
Tony, we hope we do you justice. We will try.
We'll do our best, Tone.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. There you have it, Kate.
I love that, Bridge. Good pick. Keep me in the summer spirit. Now, Bridge,
Oh.
just want to say,
Oh.
if your daughter comes to you and is like, someone told me about a garden and a hose and I don't know what the fuck's going on and I need the real talk, and you get sweaty and you're like, I can't relive my trauma, I'm gonna kick it over to Auntie K. I will reenact Miss Rachael, and I'll make up a song. I'll dress like her, I'll put the fucking overalls on, I'll make up some dumb song to teach her, and then help you. Also.
Wow.
It kind of had to do with now and then, but
no,
yeah.
it's perfect.
Okay.
It's perfect.
That's because I love you.
Because Kate,
Bridge.
if there's like an It 3, isn't there like a lot of those movies?
They are making a prequel, I hear.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And they're like, hey, we need some like writers and stuff. I'll be like, listen, you need to hire my incredibly talented sister Katie. But I want you to be inspired by the incredible events of now and then and have it wear a charm bracelet specifically from Teenie and Sam. And my sister will
Pennywise
put that in.
Is going for the kill. An old man named Crazy Pete falls on him, which is why we don't see Pennywise now and then, because he's under the water. He gets landed on. It's the only way to save her. And yes, I love that. Thank you.
Okay.
I'll work on that.
That was for you.
Wow. And listeners, if you also love strong old men who come out at night only, and are they vampires? We don't know.
Oh. Okay.
And if you think that having the sex talk is important and necessary, but deaf awkies. And if you think that we need more coming-of-age stories that represent women and their lives, maybe with less fat-shaming and other shit, you should write us a review.
Hey!
We love reviews. We love written reviews. You can review us on Apple Podcasts, along with some other podcasting apps. We also have a website, sisterswhoseenit.com. On our website, you can request a movie. So our next movie, Tremors, was recommended by Tony. And Tony did. He went on the website and he filled out the form and it went on a list. And then we look at the list. And mainly Bridget looks at the list, but I look at it too, I swear. I just do my own shit. But that could be you, listeners.
Wow.
So if you have a movie you want to request, maybe there is another coming of age female, point of view movie that we don't remember, or we blacked out, put it on there. And yeah. And Bridge, what else can they do on our website?
They can buy us coffee.
Woo!
Which is money.
Woo!
And they could also buy merchandise.
Yes, like our new shirt. It's amazing. I can't wait for it.
Check it out. Mrs. D, Mrs. I, Mrs. FFI, Mrs. C, Mrs. U, Mrs. LTY. Why are all these women married? Check it out.
These women married? Yes.
Check it out.
Yes. So check all that out, listeners. And we hope to hear from you. All right. Well, we'll see you all next week for Tremors. I can't remember any quotes from this movie. I just remember Kevin Bacon is very, really happy and excitable. And I'm like, that's a different Kevin Bacon than other Kevin Bacon performances.
Well, all I learned is if things get really bad, to put on the Now and Then soundtrack and, oh yeah, baby!
Yeah!
Do way too
yeah.
long. Ooh, there's a monster in a dusty storm. Ooh, baby. Yeah.
Love that. Love you.
All right, I love you.
Love you.
Bye, everybody. Love you.
Bye-bye.
See you then. Now?
See you now. See you then. More
love
Tremors.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks for tuning in to Sisters Who Seen It. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out our website at sisterswhoseenit.com, where you can email us, request movies to be reviewed, and keep up to date with all things sisters. Also, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. See you next week.